Hey guys, hope you all are doing well. In this video, we are going to discuss topmost MCQs based on fiscal policy and union budget. So, um, we will go through the MCQs based on fiscal policy, and we already did a video based on the fundamentals of fiscal policy and budget as well. Okay, please do watch this video till the end, and if you like, please do share with your friends. If you are new to my channel, please do subscribe. So we will start with first question on your screen. So which type of expenditure is incurred for everyday expenses and smooth functioning of various government departments? So whenever we talk about the expenditure, we have two type of expenditure in fiscal policy. One is revenue expenditure, another one is capital expenditure. So revenue expenditure is generally expense on day-to-day activities of various government department, and capital expenditure is the expenditure on creation of permanent assets. So what will be your correct answer? Option A will be correct answer for this particular one. Previously we have plan and non-plan expenditure. Plan expenditure was basically dedicated to the 5-year plan, and non-plan is generally apart from that. Okay, but now we have revenue and capital. So revenue is generally based on the day-to-day activities of government department, like salaries, electricity bill, rent, and everything. And capital is expenditure on creation of permanent asset, like creation of like infrastructure development, building hospitals, infrastructure like roadways, road, or we have this bridge, canals, and all. Okay, next one. The measure taken using government budget can impact. So government, if you talk about the government budget or the fiscal policy, so that generally impact different areas, or that generally include different factors. So resource allocation is part of fiscal policy and budget. Inequalities, reduction in inequalities is prime agenda of budget. Inflation, to beat the inflation, or the price stability, again part of budget. Economic growth is the supremacy of budget. So they have a target through fiscal policy to grow our GDP's number. Okay, so what will be a correct answer? Option E will be right answer for this particular one. So these are like you can maximize the resource allocation, minimize the income inequalities, and maintain the economic growth alongside the price stability are the key focus of fiscal policy. Next one. Which of the following item is an example of capital expenditure undertaken by a government during budget announcement? So I hope now you can easily answer this particular question. So as I told you, so revenue is generally for day-to-day functioning of government departments, and capital is creation on permanent asset. So subsidies and defense service expenditure is part of revenue expenditure. Construction of road. So if you are constructing the roads, which means you are creating a permanent asset, so government have a long term vision with that particular one. So option B will be a right answer for this particular one. Next one. Next question, guys. What is the name of the process under which government sells shares of public sector undertakings? Okay, so when government of India, they sell the shares of or they sell ownership in any public sector undertaking, so that process is generally known as disinvestment. Okay, so option A will be correct answer for this one. Monetary expansion is part of monetary policy. When RBI or monetary policy committee, they come with they create liquidity in the market. Okay, open market operation is part of RBI's function again. So it is generally the buying and selling of shares. The buying and selling of government securities through RBI is generally known as the open market operation. Disinvestment, like I hope you guys remember, in case of LIC, or there are so many public sector enterprises where government of India, they generally did disinvestment process in last 2 to 3 years. Okay, next one. The budget was formally introduced in India in the year. So when budget was introduced in India, so it was introduced by James Wilson in 1860, April 1860, or 7th of April 1860. And James Wilson, who introduced this particular one, so that's why he is generally known as the father of Indian budget as well. And the father of world budget is Sir Robert Walpole. He introduced budget or the term budget for the first time in 1730. Okay, so do remember these particular facts as well, so which can help you in your examination. Next one, the world budget is mentioned under which of the following article of Constitution of the India? So the terminology budget or the annual financial plan is generally defined under Article 112 of Indian Constitution. Okay, so it is defined as an annual financial plan basically. Okay, so it is whenever you define the budget, so it is basically the income and expenditure statement for a given time duration. So as per the Article 112, it is defined as annual financial statement. So annual financial statement are income and expenditure, and annual means financial year for a given time duration, which is, if you talk about financial year in India, so it is from 1st April to 31st March. Next one, consider the following statement regarding the type of budget. So majorly we have three type of budget. One is surplus, when your expenses are lesser than your income, that is called surplus budget. Okay, so when your income is greater than your expenses. Balanced budget is when income equal to expenditure, and deficit is when your income is lesser than your expenditure. Okay, so a balanced budget, first is about balance, so income and expenditure are equal, so this is the correct statement. The second one is when revenue exceed and government expenditure are when your revenue is higher than your expenditure, so that is called the surplus budget, again correct one. And deficit is when your revenue expenditure exceed and revenue are lesser than that is generally known as deficit budget. Okay, so all statement 1, 2 and 3 all are correct regarding the different type of budget. So you can even go through this particular definition, so it will give you. So hope you gone through these particular statement and it will give you more clarity. Now next question on your screen, guys. So which of the following statement about the GST is accurate? So GST, if you talk about the GST, it is known as goods and service tax. So quickly go through these particular statements. So first one is GST is exempted. So GST is an example of indirect tax under the government regime, which is a correct statement. So you have to find out the accurate statement. Okay, the GST is an example of direct tax, which is incorrect one. The GST is an example of non-tax revenue. Again, this is incorrect one. GST is an example of income tax, which is incorrect. So what will be your correct answer? Option A will be right answer for this particular question. Okay, so we have basically two type of taxes. One is direct tax, another one is indirect tax. Okay, so direct tax where if you talk about the examples, so we have income tax, corporate tax, or gift tax. So these all are direct taxes where we have a direct relationship between the taxpayer and the we can say the government, okay, who generally charge that particular tax. In case of indirect tax, we have indirect relation. We do not have direct tax. Let's say if you buy something at any restaurant, so that is like you are the earning party is that restaurant, but for that particular consumption you have to pay service tax or GST. Okay, next one, which of the following statement is true about unbalanced budget? So unbalanced budget is deficit budget. So when your income is lesser than your expenditure, that is unbalanced budget. Okay, so in an unbalanced budget, the expenditure is relatively higher than the income, which is a correct statement. In unbalanced budget, income is greater than, so this is incorrect statement. In an unbalanced budget, the deficit get covered either by loan or by printing currency. So again, which is correct. So option 1 and C, A and C is the correct answer for this particular question. Next one, which of the following is not a source of tax revenue collected by Government of India? So we have direct taxes, we have indirect tax along with GST. Okay, so out of these, so custom is part of indirect tax, excise is again part of indirect, service indirect, dividends will be correct answer for this one. So these are like when government of India, they have ownership in some company shares. So when these companies issue dividend, so dividend is part of profit. So when they issue profit to their shareholders, so that kind of earning is generally part of non-tax revenue. So dividend is generally part of non-tax revenue. So option D will be correct answer for this particular one. Okay, so dividend is part of profit, we can say. Next one, indirect taxes means, so indirect taxes where taxpayer and government, they do not have a direct relation. As I gave you an example of that restaurant bill. So let's say you consume something at any restaurant. So you buy 100 rupees stuff and you have to pay some taxes. So income is generally generated by the restaurant, but being a consumer, being a customer, you have to pay some taxes. So that is generally indirect. So tax based on income, which is incorrect, which is called income tax. A direct relation between the taxpayer and government, again this is part of direct taxes. There is no direct relation between taxpayer and government, so this is the correct one. The incidence and impact are on the same person on whom tax is imposed. Again, this is correct, incorrect one. So option C will be right answer for this particular one. Okay, so I hope you guys are getting this particular thing clearly. So I already did a video on fiscal policy or this budget thing. So please go through that particular one. So this will give you more clarity toward these particular topic. Next one, which type of expenditure is made in bridge construction? So whenever government they construct some bridge, so that is part of the permanent construction. Okay, so that is something related to capital expenditure. Okay, so capital expenditure on creation of permanent asset. So if you are creating a bridge, so it has a life of 5 year, 10 year, 50 years, 100 years. So that is part of your capital expenditure. Next one, uh, which which objective do government attempt to obtain by budget? So budget is based on the economic growth, the price stability, or the development agenda. So there are so many things. Whenever government they, came with a budgetary documents, so it has so many objectives. So to promote economic development, regional development, redistribution of income and wealth, or the reduction in inequalities, so what will be a correct answer for this one? All of the above are the right answer for this particular one. Okay, so these are some major objectives which are generally obtained by budgetary documents presented by Government of India, right? Next one, the expenditure which do not create an asset for the government is, so as I told you, revenue expenditure are based on day to day, are spent on the day to day functioning of government, so they are not creating any assets. Okay, so what will be a correct answer? Revenue expenditure. But second is capital expenditure. So if government is building some dam, so they'll earn something from that particular dam, they'll generate electricity, they'll promote the fisheries business and all. So revenue expenditure is generally for the functioning of various government departments. Okay, like salaries, like interest payment, like pension, like subsidies. These all are the part of your revenue expenditure. Next one, which is component of budget receipt. So whenever you study the component of budget, so budget receipt is further divided into two part. One is revenue, so revenue, and another one is capital. So revenue is generally we have tax revenue and we have non-tax. So tax revenue we have like direct and indirect taxes. In case of non-tax revenue like dividend, grants, these all part of non-tax. Capital revenue or capital receipt are basically, these are the borrowings of the government. Okay, so these are the borrowings of the government. Okay, so what will be a correct answer? Both A and B. So both, like it can be revenue receipt, it can be capital. The difference is revenue is that income is generated by government of India during a specific time duration. It can be in the form of tax revenue or as well as non-tax revenue. But capital revenue is basically part of borrowings of the government. Government basically borrow that particular money from domestic market as well as international market. Okay, next one, which of the following statement is correct about the budget? So these are the statement given below which is related to budget, so you have to identify the correct one. It is a statement of financial position for a future period, setting out the proposed expenditure and means of financing it, so which is correct one. Article 1111 is of the Constitution of Government of India present no. So this is Article 112. So what will be a correct answer? Only one on only first statement is true about the budget, because budget is generally defined under Article 112 of the Indian Constitution as an financial statement. Okay, next one. Consider the following statement is are related to annual financial statement, again related to budget. So first one is the annual financial statement is divided among three part. So consolidated funds, we have contingency fund, we have public account. So this is correct one. All revenue raised by the government, money borrowed and received from loan given by government flow into the consolidated funds of India, again which is correct. Article 112 of the Indian Constitution deal with the budget. So all statements are correct related to the annual plan. So all 1, 2, 3 is the right answer for this particular one. Next one. So consolidated funds of India, that is defined under Article 266 1, contingency fund, emergency fund 267, and public account 266. And this annual financial statement is defined under Article 112 of Indian Constitution. These articles are very important, so please try to remember these one as well. Next one, guys. So please quickly go through the question and try to answer this one in comment section. And guys, if you're liking these particular questions, so please do like the video and do share with your friends. Okay. So question is, a budget that measure the development outcome of the government is called, it is known as outcome budget. Okay. So let's say when government they come with the analysis of the existing budget, how that particular budget is performing, so that statement is generally known as outcome budget, and it was introduced in 2005. So let's say for financial year 23-24, government of India they presented a budget of 45 lakh crore rupees. So how that, like in between 2023-24 they do they check the implementation part. So how that particular one is doing, that is generally known as outcome budget. A budget which has not included the previous year budget, neither receipt or expenditure, that budget is generally known as zero based budget, because we have actual numbers. Okay, in this particular one we have actual income and actual expenditure, so that is generally called zero budget. Okay, next one. So next question, guys. Which among the following fund is also known as emergency fund? So emergency fund, it is generally known as contingency fund. So in case of any kind of emergency like earthquake, flood, or any drought situation, so we or government they generally utilize that particular money and they spend on that particular time, because that time we do not have enough time to discuss about the situation, or in we pass the bill in parliament, so we have some allocation in contingency fund, we just withdraw money and we supply that particular money where it is required. Okay, so it is defined under Article 267 1. So in case of natural calamities or disaster, Government of India, they generally use this particular fund. Okay, next one, the expenditure is greater than receipt, then it will term as, so when your expenditure, let's say your expenditure is 100 crore and your income is only 80 crore, so this is generally known as budgetary deficit. Okay, so deficit budget, it is called deficit budget. Okay, so option B will be right answer for this one. The word budget is driven from, so from where we generally get this particular budget, so it is taken from a French word budget. Okay, Sir Robert Walpole, he is known as the father of budget worldwide. Okay, so when he present this particular thing, so in French word there is a term, there is a word that is called budget. So budget means a leather bag. Okay, it means a leather bag. So later on in English we translate it as a budget. Okay, next one, which statement is correct for government budget from the below given statement? So the budget is the estimated statement for expected annual expenses and income. Correct one. The detail of expenditure and revenue. This is not a detail. This is just an estimation. Okay. According to 5-year plan, it is completed detail achievements. No. It is economy BOP. No. So option A will be right answer for this particular question. Okay. So budget is basically, it is an estimation. It is not a detailed documents. Okay. So which of the following, which of these receipt of an example of non-tax revenue? So tax revenue, income from taxes. We have two type of taxes, direct and indirect. Indirect, now we have GST. Okay, so fine. Now if you talk about non-tax revenue, so income generated by Government of India from other than taxes, so that is called non-tax revenue. So tax income other than taxes. Okay, so fee and fine and fee is part of non-tax revenue, like challan and all these things. Profit on investment, again interest receipt, dividend. So what will be your correct answer? All of the above. See, so these all are generally part of your non-tax revenue components. Okay, next one, which of the following budget should uh, developing economies? So developing economy like India, so we have a developing economy. So in India, we generally present deficit budget. Why we present deficit budget? Because like there are so many areas we have to work upon. Okay, so like we have to develop our infrastructure, we have to work on the new technologies, we have to work on the defense system. So we have different areas. So to support these particular areas, we need more money. So for that one, we generally present our deficit budget. So in developing nations, they have so many areas of development. To for the faster growth, they need more money. So they have to present the deficit budget. Okay. So even like when anyone asks you why India present deficit budget, this is the reason, because being a developing nation, there are so many areas of development. Okay. So in US or in other countries, when they come with surplus budget, because they already did these particular things. Okay. So in India, we have like healthcare, education. So we have to increase our expenses, right? Next one, income tax, corporate tax, inheritance tax, etc. are incident on the person or organization. These tax are called, so these are like income tax are part of direct taxes. A corporate tax on inheritance tax, these all are the part of direct taxes, right? So if you are income something, like let's say if you generate 15 lakh during a financial year through your job, so you have to pay some taxes. So that is generally part of your direct taxes. Okay, next one, financial year in India is April 1st to 31st March. We already discussed this one. Okay, so like let's say the next financial year is financial year 23-24. So it will start from 1st of April 2023 and it will end on 31st of March 2024. So option A is the correct answer for this one. Which is included in direct tax? So which out of these, which is direct tax? So what will be your correct answer? Income tax, entertainment tax, service tax, excise duties, GST. So these all are the part of indirect tax. Okay. So A is the correct answer. Next one. Okay. Guys, I already did a video on financial market where we discuss more than 50 questions based on financial market, capital and money market and their instruments. So, I hope you guys already watched that particular video. If not, please do watch. That is definitely going to help you in your upcoming examination. Guys, here we discuss so many questions based on fiscal policy, budget, and their fundamentals. I hope you enjoy the entire video. So, if you like, please do share with your friends. And if you're new to my channel, please do subscribe. And please do share your feedbacks and comments. It will help us to improvise our content. Okay. And if you have any concern related to anything, please feel free to ask. Very soon I'll come with a Telegram channel as well, so I'll mention in the description. So you can join that particular one and where you can get the PDFs as well. Okay, so this is it from my side. Thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day.